Hey everybody, I'm Tony and this is Hard4Games. Lately there have been rumors of a 35th anniversary celebration of The Legend of Zelda that will hopefully include a remake, remaster, HD version of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Of course, these are just rumors, have no idea whether they're true or not, but regardless, I thought it would be fun to create a wish list, my own personal wish list of what I would want to see specifically from the Ocarina of Time remake to start off with. And if you guys want to see it, maybe I'll make a second video for Majora's Mask. And of course, obviously, let me know what you all would like to see in an Ocarina of Time remake in the comments below. So first things first, don't be lazy. This is kind of generic, but it is very important. We don't need another Super Mario All-Stars for the Wii, where you had like a couple megabytes on a full Wii disc. We don't really need another Super Mario 3D All-Stars, where they're functionally the same game, but, you know, minor, like, little itty-bitty improvements. No, don't be lazy. The 3DS version of Ocarina of Time was rebuilt from the ground up, new textures, everything. Do the same thing again, but for the Switch. Second item on my wish list is Nintendo, don't be afraid. So speaking of the 3DS version, which I mentioned a moment ago, you know, built from the ground up, but it was functionally the same game. Now, granted, they did add some bells and whistles, and they did have some Zelda style elements like the Master Quest, a boss rush mode, a mirrored world for the Master Quest, all of which were very welcome, but it was still functionally the same game. Nintendo, don't be afraid to do something new. You gotta be bold. You know, Ocarina of Time, it made me feel this sense of adventure and wonderment as a kid. Try to provide the same experience, but on the Switch. But not the same exact experience, just that feeling of that experience. It's okay to be different and do something new. I know Nintendo's probably very scared of fanboys and fangirls that really want them to just toe the line, be Ocarina of Time, and if it's not Ocarina of Time, then oh my god, you know, it's not, this is deviated, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? We already have 2 Ocarina of Time games that are functionally the same. Give us something new, give us something different. If you want to play Ocarina of Time, play the original. The remake can be something different. Don't be afraid. Third item on my wish list is more is more. Give us more dungeons, optional or required, or both. So in the past, Nintendo has added stuff to remakes like, for example, the Cave of Shadows, which is functionally, if you're unfamiliar, like a gauntlet where Link has to go through a ton of different levels and get a reward at the end. It's fine, it's a nice addition, but it doesn't really add anything to the core experience of the gameplay. It's just extra fluff. I'd love to see Breath of the Wild style shrines scattered throughout the overworld, or just new dungeons that revolve around other story elements, right? Just new things to do and explore and experience. I'd like to see new NPCs that add to the experience. Maybe they tell Link something different about the lore of Hyrule that's interesting to the players, or maybe they have a new side quest or mini quest that is of, again, some significance for Link to go do. And some of those new side quests could lead to some new items, or weapons, or armor, or magic, or what have you. So basically adding in new elements that sort of chain along to a new experience. New area has a new NPC with a new quest that leads to a new item that allows you to play a, you know, same dungeon you played on the N64, but maybe in a different way this time, right? It gives you just something new and different. Give us more. Again, more is more. Next up, make it huge. Ocarina of Time was sprawling. Give me that same feeling again, but on the Switch. It doesn't have to be Breath of the Wild large, but it should be big. It should be larger than it is on the N64, that's for sure. It should be, again, worth exploring, like I mentioned before, because there are new elements, but also worth exploring because there's just more space to explore. Make it big again, right? Give us that feeling that we felt. If you remember the Giga Leak and the Zelda 97 Space World era dump, the maps in those versions of the game, you know, earlier maps, very large, very sprawling, didn't make it into the final version of the game. The ultimate version was kind of more so like Hyrule Field was this large hub, and then you'd have other spaces around it, whereas in this earlier build, seemingly every single area was big. You know, couldn't ultimately do that because maybe it wouldn't lead to good game design. They only had so many NPCs and so many things to do in these large areas, and maybe you spend so much time walking, etc., etc. But now you can populate those large areas with lots of stuff. I mean, there's nothing really restricting them anymore. I mean, realistically anyways, there's nothing restricting them, at least not compared to how it was restricted in the 90s. So you could have large areas, get back that original feel of the game, but make the gameplay compatible with it. Lastly on my wish list is to make it beautiful, make it gorgeous. I want to feel that they put some effort into it, into the visuals, right? Is that so wrong? You know, we're just so used to your Super Mario 3D All-Stars where they're like, just kind of vomit out something, all right? Let's make 2 of them widescreen. Let's have Super Mario 64 not, you know, like just very baseline porting, essentially. Right? Now, obviously, this is a wish list for an HD remake, which might not even happen. But regardless of that, it'd be so nice if it was just ground up, new, fresh, beautiful. So let me know how you feel about my wish list, and of course let me know what you think about what you would like to see in an Ocarina of Time HD remake, remaster, report, whatever it ends up being, in the comments below. And if you like this type of content, make sure to subscribe, click the notification bell, join us on social media, we have a Patreon, all that good stuff. But regardless of all that, I do just appreciate you taking the time to watch me ramble here today. Really appreciate it. So aside from that, we'll see you all next time, and take care.